Live from the 412, it's Platt's point of view, y'all. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to part 2 of Platt's point of view. I am Platt, and I'm here with Rob Jamison, and I'm going to give you my opinion on sports locally and nationally once again. High school spotlight, tournament get lit. So let's go. So first off, we're going to start off with some NBA talk, JMO. And how about the Houston Rockets small ball, man? Like, do you think it can, if we continue the season, do you think the small ball can get those guys far in the playoffs?
Oh, hard to tell, man. But I'll be honest, it's working right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's working right now. You know, the playoffs is a little bit different. The game gets slowed down a little bit, you know what I mean? A little more physical. But I can't even lie. It's been working now.
Yeah. My thing is, I'm not a fan of Mike D'Antoni. I'm not a fan of him. I still think that they need some size because I'm looking at a team like, you know where I'm going with this. I'm looking at a team like the Lakers, and people was like, oh, how could you match up with them? I said, well, the Lakers got a team that can match up with them,
Right.
and here's the team. You put LeBron at point guard. You put Danny Green at the 2. You put Kyle Kuzma at the 3. AD at the 4. Dwight Howard at the 5.
Yeah.
Who's getting the rebounds for the Rockets over them dudes? They're all long, lengthy. You know what I mean? How you gonna beat them?
Right.
Like, I mean, a lot of teams can't match up with Houston, but the Lakers could.
They definitely
the
could.
Lakers could. I think Milwaukee could.
Milwaukee could. They got the length too. You know what
Right.
I mean? So that small ball, you know, it's cool. It's good and all that, but D'Antoni's mindset sometimes bothers me. You know what I mean?
I don't
they
think
don't
he
have
trusts
the deepest of mindset.
that too, and I don't think he trusts his players late in the year. Like
Yeah.
every year, he shortened his rotation to
He
like
do.
7 players,
Yeah.
and I'm like, dude, you got this guy, that guy, put these guys in so Hard can get a breather.
Right,
He ran
right.
out of gas every season because of that fast break, run and gun offense.
Right,
Every season,
right,
and I'm
right.
waiting to see if Russell Westbrook ran out of gas.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting.
It take a toll.
Yeah, but by this with this Corona crisis going on, that might be the best thing to happen to them because they can get their legs back under them.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
get
Them
some
older
rest,
veterans,
yeah.
people like Eric Gordon and them and PJ Tucker and them, they can get their legs back under them. So this might end up helping them, but I still think that when the playoffs start, if we do continue this, I think they're going home in the second round.
Yeah.
Like I'm so confident. Like I basically predicted if they play Utah, I like Utah in 7. I
Yeah.
think Utah could beat them in
Think
7
Utah can beat
games.
them?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I think they'll shut small ball right now.
Right,
Game
right.
over.
Their style of play.
Yeah, definitely. So next up, Zion Williamson, man. Zion Williamson balled out, man. He's been balling until everything went down. He 23 points per game, 6 rebounds, 58% from the floor, and surprisingly, he's a 46% three-point shooter. J-Mo, what you think of Zion, man?
Man, to be honest with you, not surprised. I'll tell
Yeah.
you what surprised me, though, him shooting like that from the 3.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And they giving it to him.
Yes, they
if you
are.
If you watch how they play on it, they giving it to him because they so worried about him attacking the basket.
Right.
So he's getting the shots and he's knocking them down.
Yes, he
That
is.
surprised me more than anything,
Yeah,
though.
it
But
is.
yeah, I like the way he's playing.
It is. One thing I noticed about Zion that bothers him, length.
Yes.
He played the Lakers, Dwight Howard and them, they was smacking that thing. He played Milwaukee. Couldn't do that on a Greek Freak. That was
Right.
the first time that I watched Zion play this year, and he tried to burrow into somebody, and the Greek Freak didn't even move.
That
He
left
stood
dude- that
pat.
left dude bothered
Yes, he stood pat against him. So he got to work on that, how to go at length a little bit better.
Right.
But so far, so good. And I also think, I'm going to go out on a limb, man. If the season do resume and they give out the awards or whatever, I think it should be a co-MVP, co-Rookie of the Year, pardon me.
Rookie of
Like Grant Hill and Jason Kidd did that year.
Yeah.
I think they both should get it. You know what I'm saying? I think Ja Morant's been remarkable.
Yes.
He's been
Yes.
remarkable all season. And I still think they're going to get in the playoffs when we resume, if we resume. But I just think that Zion with the hype and everything and all the
His
talk,
impact.
I think he
That
lived up
impact.
to the expectations
Yes.
so far. I mean, it's a small body of work, you know what I mean? Because he didn't play the full season. But I think this guy's on it. Like I wasn't sold on him, but guess what? I'm
Yeah.
sold now.
Yeah.
Zion Williamson is the truth.
Absolutely.
He is the truth. So
Absolutely.
we're gonna see what happens with Zion. Next up, the season being on a little hiatus right now. Let's talk about NBA Coach of the Year, J-Mo, because I got 2 guys that I think deserve it, and one of them is I think Billy Donovan should be the Coach of the Year. Should be the Coach of the Year. If not him, Milwaukee Bucks coach Mike Budenholzer. But I really like Billy Donovan. Just what he was faced with, losing Westbrook and whatnot, and all that going on. Everybody thought OKC would be a lottery team. He put them pieces together, man. He traded for Gallinari, and he got back Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. and they're balling, man.
And this is when you can see what real coaching is all about.
Right.
They didn't have that many expectations. You know what I mean? Chris Paul coming in, it was almost like get rid of a contract type of situation. And now they in there. What is they, 4th or 5th seed?
They were like the 4th or the 5th seed before the hiatus.
Nobody expected that. Let's just be honest,
yes,
man.
Nobody
And that's just
did.
coaching and playing together and the team trusting him. So I can see him winning Coach of the Year.
And I was a big firm believer that Billy Donovan was the reason why the day wasn't winning, because I take it back to a couple years ago, taking you a couple pages back to when Carmelo was there. I didn't think Billy Donovan knew how to utilize him.
Right.
And I'm like, Billy Donovan, this ain't Jakeem Noah and Corey Brewer and them, man. You got to really know how to utilize Melo.
Right.
And I'm like, man, they need to get rid of him and go get Mark Jackson. But he's done a whole 360 since then. Like, Billy Donovan's good. He's a good X and O's guy. And props to him, man. I think he deserved to be Coach of the Year. If not him, you give it to the Bucks coach, Bodenholzer or whatnot. But I really like Billy Donovan as Coach of the Year, man. Remarkable job, Billy Donovan. Yup. Next up, who is going to coach the New York Knicks next season, J-Mo? Because I got two names. Like, I like Mark Jackson, and I like Jay Wright from Villanova. Like, why doesn't Mark Jackson have the job? He should be coaching the Knicks. He's the city. You know what I'm saying? He understands the bright lights, the big city. He has the heart. He can talk to the media. And all that stuff won't bother him. So, like, it's just crazy. Like, the Knicks, they're just in shambles, man. They're just the building just slowly crumbling. They had the Spike Lee incident. They already had people trying to grab Oakley a while back. Like, they're just in shambles. They need to get it together, J-Mo. Seriously.
They definitely need to get it together. And I think Mark Jackson, to me, he was the only name I thought about, to be perfectly honest with you. It would go perfect.
Right.
He know the city, former player, you know what I mean? He ain't bothered by it. Humble guy, you know what I'm saying? Faithful guy. So, I like Mark Jackson for the job. You know, we'll see what happens, though.
Yeah, this is crazy. So, New York Knicks, man, get it right, man. Get the right coach. Go get Mark Jackson and give him some time. Yeah. Give him some time, at least 3-4 years, man. Don't pull the plug if you lose 5 games in a row. The media want to be all, you know what I mean? They want to get on him and all that stuff. Nah, man. Let him get that job, and let's get Spike Lee back at the games and get the New York Madison Square Garden popping like it's supposed to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the mecca of basketball, man. The team got to be winning, and so for not even winning, just be competitive.
The league is just better.
The league's better, exactly.
The league is better.
Exactly. You know, you might think twice going into the Garden thinking you're going to drop 50 when they there, because we know when they had Mason and them, none of that wasn't going on. Charles Smith and them boys, they was rough riders. Anthony Bonner, I keep naming. John Starks, they wasn't with none of that. So we need to get back to those days, and I would love for the NBA to, for the Knicks to be relevant again in the NBA, and go get Mark Jackson, y'all. Game over. Next up, this guy right here, J-Mo, this is my most overlooked NBA player. I just want to get your thoughts on this guy. I'm talking about Charlotte Hornets backup point guard Devontae Graham. This past season before the hiatus, he was averaging 17 points per game, 7 assists. He was a 36% three-point shooter. I mean, he was shooting a horrible 37% from the floor, so that just tells me his jump shot needs major work. But overall, I think he's reliable, he's serviceable, he's a very adequate quality point guard. He also shot 81% from the foul line, and he's coming off of, you remember he had the 40-point scoring outburst against the Brooklyn Nets. You know what I'm saying? So, back in December. And also, Devontae Graham, he's an excellent pick-and-roll player. He's nice in a pick-and-roll game. Devontae Graham is a cold-blooded, pesky defender when he's locked in. He's a good, solid floor general. He's actually an overachiever too, J-Mo, because coming out of Kansas, nobody even expected him to get drafted. When he got drafted, then when he got drafted, nobody expected him to make the team. He made the team. He's getting quality minutes behind my man Scary Terry Rozier, which I think in the next couple of years, I think he's going to take his spot.
You think so?
Yes, I'm that confident in Devontae Graham.
And one thing about that, one stat that you said that came out to me is that 81% from the free throw line.
Right.
That keeps you on the floor.
There you go.
Down the stretch.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? If you're the point guard, I keep you on the floor.
Right.
So he hit it in the right direction. Definitely going up.
Right, and one thing, I'm going to say one more thing before we go on to the next topic. One thing I noticed about him and Scary Terry Rozier, you look at the stat line, you watch him play, he don't, like, Terry Rozier, he's not a high assist guy.
Right,
like, he's a point guard, but he's not a high assist guy. Like, you look at his stats, it'll be 16 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds. He don't never have, like, more than 5 or 6 assists. You look at Devontae Graham, 8 assists, 9 assists, 2 steals, 10 assists, 11 assists, 4 steals, 17 points. So I think he's like overall more productive. Right. But I think the reason why he don't play all like that late in the game and get the clutch minutes is because of that 37% field goal shooting percentage. Yes. He has to work on his jump shot. He has to. So once he does that, the sky's the limit for Devontae Graham, man. So the most overlooked NBA player right now, in my opinion, Devontae Graham. I mean, it's a couple other guys, but I'm really a fan of Devontae Graham. So next up, if the playoffs do start back up, who gets that last NBA playoff spot in the Western Conference, J-Mo? We got Memphis, you got New Orleans, Sacramento, and Portland. Like, they were all, like, in the scuffle before, before the epidemic started.
Man, I tell you what, I'm going to say a team that people ain't really been talking about, but Sacramento.
Yes.
I like what Luke's doing out there. And then when they put Buddy Hield on the bench, I almost made him a better player.
Yes.
In a weird way. It sounds crazy as an athlete. You'd be like, man, that sounds crazy. But he's just been, to me, more productive, and they getting a lot out of that Sacramento team when nobody expect them to do anything, personally. You know what I mean? I don't know if they'll get in that 8th spot, but I like where they hit it. I like where they hit it.
I like Sacramento, too. I think they got some young pieces with Buddy Hield, De'Aaron Fox, my man Marvin Bagley, the southpaw. I think they got some pieces, but I think when it's all said and done, if we resume the season, I think they're going to come up just a little bit short.
I can see that.
I think they're 1 year away. They're about one player away.
I can see that.
But I like them. They're young. They're hungry. They're feisty. They're not scared. De'Aaron Fox, yes, he has ice in his veins. He plays hard, and I think they're 1 year away, man.
I agree.
So if they do resume back, I like the Memphis Grizzlies with Ja Morant, Brandon Clark, and Dylan Brooks and them.
Right.
I think they're going to make some noise. Well, they'll probably lose because they'll probably play the Lakers. So it'll be 4 games to 1. They might get swept, but I think Ja Morant and them is going to stand pat and hold on to that last playoff spot if we do resume.
Right.
So next up, let's talk NFL free agency. They can't stop that. This free agency got to go on. It got to go on. And it starts this week. I think Wednesday starts, and it's going to be some crazy stuff going on. Some notable names: quarterback Tom Brady, Teddy Bridgewater, Phillip Rivers. Running back Melvin Gordon, Jordan Howard. Wide receiver, you got Amari Cooper, Robbie Anderson, and a host of others. Tight end Hunter Henry, he just was franchised by the San Diego Chargers. Lineman, big Jason Peters, he definitely could open up the hole for somebody if they sign him. Leonard Williams, D lineman, from the Jets to the Giants. Linebacker Jamie Collins, the pass rusher Dante Fowler Jr., Danny Trevathan, he just got re-signed though. Well, he just agreed to re-sign with the Chicago Bears. He's a hitter. Corners, you got Bradley Roby, Chris Harris Jr., James Bradbury, who I think is an underrated corner for the Carolina Panthers. Safeties, notable names, you got Clayton Dix for the Redskins. You got the veteran safety, man, Devin McCourty for the Patriots.
Yeah.
So out of everybody I named, J-Mo, what you like? You got anybody from this list or anybody else that you want to go to a certain team or whatnot?
No, not really. And I mean, I'm cool with everybody going back to where they're supposed to go. I know that's not typical. That's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Depending on the money that's out there. But yeah, I mean, I'm cool. I'm cool with the list, like where everybody could possibly go and stuff like that.
Right.
Because it's kind of hard to tell, you know what I mean? Because I feel like they waiting for real to see what happened with Tom Brady.
Right.
I think once the Tom Brady thing happens, then everybody just gonna start going where they want to go or where they supposed to go.
Right.
So I think everybody kind of waiting on that.
As far as Brady go, man, I'm hearing all these rumors about a day. Now I'm hearing that Belichick basically want him to go to Tampa Bay because he think he's going to fail. Like that's what I heard. Yeah, that's the latest rumor I heard. And the Raiders, like John Gruden and Mike Mayock, they're all in. Like they're going to try to very hardly push to get Tom Brady to Las Vegas.
Oh, really?
Yes. So when it's all said and done, man, I still think Brady's going to either end up in San Fran,
I heard
Tampa
about that.
Bay,
What you
or
think
Las
about that?
Vegas.
What you think about the San Fran thing? Think that
I
can
like
work
that
out?
move.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is, why would you trade your franchise quarterback for a guy you're only going to have just for maybe 2 years? But in the same token, it is Tom Brady. But I didn't think Jimmy Garoppolo was bad at all.
I didn't think so.
You know what I mean? But I'm starting to think it's like this. Okay, Bill Belichick, they're going to make that move because he's like, okay, y'all want Tom Brady? Then we're going to get us another quarterback, somebody that I'm familiar with. You know what I mean? I'm also hearing Andy Dalton, too. I heard he's a big Andy Dalton fan. So if they get rid of Brady, then More than likely be Andy Dalton or Jimmy Garoppolo going back up there, man. We shall see, though. But that makes sense. Brady's from out that way. San Fran, he's from the Bay Area. So, yeah, they're a quarterback away. But I still think you should keep Garoppolo, man.
I think they should, too.
Yeah, longevity, man.
Yeah,
longevity. But
if
you want to ring, then I guess John Lynch and I'm going to pull the plug for the Niners. So we're going to see in these next couple of days, man. It's going to get real interesting.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, next up, man, we're going to talk NFL draft gems. First off is a guy I really like. Inside linebacker, Logan Wilson out of Wyoming, 6'2", 250. This past season, he had 105 tackles, 62 solo tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, and 4 enters. Logan Wilson is a tough, smart, athletic linebacker with good instincts and intelligence. He's steady and very productive the last 3 seasons. His coverage skills are pretty good, which is evident with his 4 enters he had this past season and 7 pass breakups. Logan Wilson is always in good position. So whoever drafts him, you're getting a baller. You're getting a cold-blooded baller, a guy that's in position, no character issues, straight football player. Logan Wilson, inside linebacker, one of my draft gems in Wyoming. Next up, Adam Trotman, tight end, 6'6", 250 out of Dayton, the Dayton Flyers. This past season, he had 70 catches for over 900 yards and 14 touchdowns. Adam Trotman is a physical specimen with superb athleticism. He has good long speed, who releases off the line with explosion. He has excellent ball skills with the leaping ability to attack the ball at its highest point. The only knock on him, Adam Trotman must improve as a blocker. But for a team that passes a lot, the way the NFL is going, Trotman is your tight end, and he shouldn't have a problem adjusting from FCS football to NFL football. Next up is your 2 draft gems. J-Mo, you want to elaborate?
Yeah, Anthony Gordon, man. I like him out of Washington State. 2019, high volume passer, a lot of passing yards. He had 48 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. Threw for about 5,500 yards. The only thing is that, their record 6 and 7. So some of them is like garbage yards, garbage touchdowns, and so on and so forth. A lot of mop-up time. So they kind of like, how you feel about them? But, I like him coming out, though.
The thing that stuck out to me about Anthony Gordon was, first of all, he's a competitor because I didn't know that he battled Garner Minshew for that starting job. He lost out. So he was going to transfer, but he stuck it out with Coach Mike Leach. And so despite him having to wait 3 years, you know what I'm saying, he stuck it out, and he had 14 career starts. And the thing that stuck out to me was out of those 14 career starts, 9 of them games he threw for over 400 yards, J-Mo. So that just showed me he's a gamer. He's a gamer. It's a small body of work, but 400 yards, 9 times out of 14 games, that's remarkable, man. Remarkable, yeah. And also, he throws the ball with a consistent touch. He showed much improved arm strength at the combine because a lot of scouts was questioning his arm strength. Being from that air raid Mike Leach offense, they said it's a lot of dink-dunk passes, which I think is some BS, but whatever. So at the combine, they had him in the deep ball drills. He threw the ball accurately with a lot of velocity, and he answered a lot of questions, and a lot of scouts left there smiling about Anthony Gordon. So I think he improved his draft stock, and I think he's going to shoot up the board and look for Anthony Gordon to possibly be the 4th or 5th quarterback selected in this draft coming up. You know what I'm saying?
I like him.
And next up, you was telling me about another guy out of NC, North Carolina A&T.
Yeah, Elijah Bell, man, I like him a lot. 2019 stats, 51 receptions, 793 yards, 7 touchdowns, 15 yards per catch. Physical wide receiver, built like a linebacker with major playmaking ability. I like him coming out, as a HBCU college. A lot of them schools get overlooked.
Yes, they do.
And but talent is there.
Right.
And all we gotta do is check them out sometimes. Whether you look them up online or just check them out on their websites or so on and so forth. But man, the guy can play. Coming out of West V, Wheeling, West Virginia product. I like him a lot.
Me too.
He's gonna be a steal in the draft.
I see he break a lot of tackles. He has a mean, stiff arm, and it's just crazy that coming out of West Virginia, he didn't get recruited. But keep an eye on Elijah Bell for the NFL draft, y'all. North Carolina A&T. Next up, let's hit the old school, new school segment. Old school, new school, youngest take notice. Old school, new school, youngest take notice. Old school, new school, youngest take notice. Old school, new school, y'all.
Old school. Charles Haley, defensive end outside linebacker, the vicious pass rusher for the Dallas Cowboys and the Niners. He was a 5-time Super Bowl champion. He was a 5-time Pro Bowler. He was a 2-time NFC Defensive Player of the Year, and he's part of the Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor. He's also part of the San Francisco 49ers Ring of Honor. His career stats, 500 tackles, 100.5 sacks, 2 enters, 26 forced fumbles, and he was 2015, he was inducted as a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. In 2011, he was inducted as a member of the 2011 College Football Hall of Fame. Charles Haley was vicious pass rusher, saying like every team he played on, they won the Super Bowl during that era, man.
So Eggman said he changed the culture on the defensive side when he got there, man.
I remember that neck roll. You see that neck roll, that 94, you knew that boy was coming, man. Charles Haley, y'all youngest take notice, man.
Absolutely.
New school, Chandler Jones, another pass rusher, defensive end outside linebacker for the Arizona Cardinals. His 2019 stats, he had 19 sacks, which was second in the NFL, 8 forced fumbles, 11 tackles for losses. In 2015, he was a Super Bowl champ with the New England Patriots. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first-team All-Pro, Pro Football Writers Association All-Rookie Team in 2012, NFL sack leader in 2017. His career stats so far, 421 total tackles, 96 sacks, 1 enter, 4 fumble recoveries, 2 defensive touchdowns. Chandler Jones is a frightening new school pass rusher with crazy athleticism. He has good hands for shedding blocks. He's very disruptive with a quick get-off. He hustles, and he's a good, solid run defender. Chandler Jones his brother John Jones is the best fighter in MMA, and his brother Arthur Jones is a former defensive end for the Baltimore Ravens. He comes from a pretty athletic family, J-Mo. Chandler Jones, vicious, man. Vicious. Next up, we're going to talk about the XFL. So the XFL kicked off, then they suddenly got shut down due to the epidemic. So what was your overall opinion of the XFL?
I liked it from day one. I'm not even going to lie. Like I didn't, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect that much because of what happened with the old XFL. Just we'll see what happens. But I like their approach. I like their minor league approach and giving the players an opportunity to be on the stage and just get looks that they probably wouldn't get anywhere else because they're trying to send out tapes and have people reaching out. So just being able to see them on the field. And there's a lot of talent in the XFL.
It is, man. It is. Hopefully a lot of these dudes get signed, man, because the season was incomplete and they're still paying them and stuff like that. But I wanted to see the championship or whatnot. But yeah, I like the league a lot, and hopefully it'll grow, and hopefully the NFL will merge, and that'll be like a minor league where these guys can get back on their feet if they fall off. You know what I'm saying? Because it's only a 53-man roster in the NFL. And sometimes it sounds like a lot, but it gets difficult. As you can see, man, as we're going to go into a lot of players in the XFL, you talk about some XFL standouts until the season shut down. The MVP probably was P.J. Walker of Houston. You know what I mean? He was balling out this past season. He was completing 65% of his passes, over 1,300 yards, 15 touchdowns, 4 enters, 104 quarterback rating. Next up, you had his man that he was throwing the ball to. He was leading the XFL. I'm talking about receiver Cam Phillips. He had 455 yards receiving with 9 touchdowns. He's a former All-AC wide receiver for Virginia Tech. Then next up, he was leading the league. He was leading the XFL in receiving. But next up, you got a former Steeler, man, who was leading the XFL in tackling. I'm talking about Steve Johnson for the Seattle Dragons. 48 total tackles, 30 solo, 18 assisted, 6 tackles for loss, 2 passes defended. Steve Johnson was a thumper, man. And last but not least, man, let's talk about Josh Johnson, man, the NFL career journeyman for the LA Wildcats. 60% of his passes he completed, over 1,000 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, 2 enters with 106 quarterback rating. Josh Johnson's 33 years old. He's a career NFL journeyman. He played with about 13 teams. He played in about 8 different leagues, but he's still showing he could play. Yeah. So somebody need to sign him to be their backup, man. How worse can he do than Colt McCoy or somebody? You know what I mean? No disrespect, but I'm just saying. He's the way the NFL set up now, he's a spread offense quarterback. So it's set up for him. So that's just a couple guys in the XFL. Then also, I want to talk about Kenny Robinson of the St. Louis Battlehawks, Wilkinsburg native, Amani Christian, and UPrep. The former West Virginia star safety is making his presence known as one of the St. Louis Battlehawks' most prolific defenders. Kenny Robinson should and could hear his name in the 2020 NFL draft, as he's the only XFL player that is draft eligible after 2 seasons at West Virginia, in which Kenny Robinson was an all Big 12 first team selection with 4 inner 77 tackles as a sophomore, and he was an all Big 12 honorable mention as a freshman. Kenny Robinson entered the NCAA transfer portal after his sophomore season due to a conduct violation penalty involving academic fraud. He also had a family issue, you know what I mean? That's when the XFL came calling. The XFL gives Kenny Robinson an extra year to get paid and play football and get valuable playing experience against professionals before trying to make an NFL roster if he get drafted. He should get drafted. This could be a new trend, as many young players may decide to get to the NFL by taking the XFL route. So Kenny Robinson, he's a rangy safety. He's a ball hawk. Last I checked, mock draft, he was ranked as like the 8th best safety. They had him going to the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to be a sleeper, bro.
He's going to be a sleeper.
Oh, man, he's nice.
He's going to make an impact, too.
Yes, he will. So also the XFL, man, you got a lot of local dudes, man, that's in the XFL, man, and hopefully they can get a shot in the NFL. Try to run down the list real quick, man, because we're running short on time. So let's start off with defensive back. My man, young Draco, XFL-Henry Askew, New York Guardians, defensive back. Aliquippa High School, West Virginia University. Hope you get a shot. Next up, you got Will Clark, defensive end, Alderdice High School, City League, St. Louis Battlehawks, West Virginia University. Next up, you got offensive guard, Dorian Johnson, DC Defenders, Bell Vernon High School, former Pitt lineman. Good luck, man. Next up, you got defensive back Demetrius Cox, New York Guardians. He was balling out a little bit. Jeanette High School, Michigan State alum. Next up, you had linebacker Christian Kuntz for the Dallas Renegades out of Shore Valley High School, another Whitfield product. He went to the University of Duquesne. And this is a shocker because I didn't know about this. Defensive end Brian Corey for the DC Defenders went to CMU, JMO Carnegie Mellon University. I hope you get a shot in the NFL, man. That's big, man. Next up, safety Marcellus Branch, Tampa Bay Vipers. He went to Robert Morris. So hopefully these XFL dudes get a shot, all the local guys, man. So next up, we're going to get to the high school spotlight. I'm talking about senior point guard, shooting guard, North Catholic, 5'10" Tess Myers. She's an all-state guard out of North Catholic. This past season, until the hiatus went on, they was in the States making a crazy run. She was averaging 18 points a game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. She's a 41% three-point shooter. Tess Myers won 4 Whitfield titles since a freshman, all 4 years, and was she was there. North Catholic was a runner-up in the state championship last year. They was trying to get it this year. Hopefully they could resume. Tess Myers is a versatile guard who can play the 1 or the 2. She's a pure offensive machine who can score on all 3 levels, and she's a pretty good shooter who will get to the rim using her underrated strength. Tess Myers is developing into a pretty good defensive player. Tess Myers had offers from Temple, Colorado, St. Joseph, Duquesne. When it was all said and done, Tess Myers decided to attend Duquesne, where her dad Joey played in the early 80s, and he was drafted out of Duquesne by the New Jersey Nets. So good luck, Tess Myers at Duquesne. I'll be going down there to check you out down there on the bluff behind Milano's. Good luck. Hopefully they can resume the state playoffs and you can get it going. Now let's turn up and get lit. Turn up and get lit. It's time to turn up and get lit, man, for real. Turn up and get lit. Turn up and get lit. If the NBA season start back up, I'm talking about Los Angeles Lakers swingman KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Hey, check this out. Season start back up. KCP, you're averaging your fewest points, 9 points per game since your rookie season. I need you to be a little bit more consistent scoring off the bench, a little bit more consistent scoring threat off the bench. Pardon me, y'all. The playoffs are coming, and the playoffs are coming real soon, and you're a crucial piece. Hopefully the playoffs are coming. You're shooting 47% from the floor, and you're a 39% three-point shooter this season, which is excellent. I just need you to be a little bit more aggressive and tough-minded because the Los Angeles Lakers will need that from you come playoff time. So athleticism, hustle, and defense. KCP, let's turn up and get lit, man. What you think?
Everything you said is dead on. Turn it up, man. We need you. We
Exactly.
need that third scorer.
Crucial
We're still
piece when
trying
the
to
playoffs
figure out
start.
who the third scorer is going to
Right.
be, even though it's supposed to be Kuzma. So
Right.
we'll figure it out.
Right. So that was a good show, Jamie. I really appreciate you, man.
You having me, man.
Yup, hopefully I hear you
Always.
back for the NFL Draft Edition.
Anytime,
And yup, everybody, once again, wash your hands, drink water. Tell everybody you love them. We're in a crisis right now. Just say your prayers, man. And everybody have a safe weekend. And we'll see you next time on Platt's Point of View. Thanks for joining us. Out.
CJ on the